Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Really appreciate you being here. I'm Nick the Geek, where we learn about Davinci Resolve. I'm a beginner. I'm not a professional motion graphics or videographer. I'm just a 50-year-old bloke who found Davinci Resolve for free. I'm getting into it. I'm learning it, and I'm sharing what I'm learning as I'm going. Today we're going to learn how to make this sort of watery, texty, effecty thingy. I've really got to come up with some better titles, haven't I? But it should be relatively easy to follow. I'm hoping, again, from a beginner to beginners. This is aimed at beginners. So again, there may be better ways of doing what I'm doing. This is what I've found has worked for me. But if there is a better way, please share it. Leave it in the comments. I would appreciate it. And there is going to be a free download for you to use this if you want to in your Resolve. So there'll be a link in the description. Yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. So we're in the edit page in Davinci Resolve, and as normal, to create this type of thing, the first thing we need to do is to create a new fusion composition. So to do that, just in the media pool in the top left corner, you right click, select new fusion composition. You can give it a name if you want, you can change the duration if you want. I'm just going to click create and get going. If you double click, it will take us into fusion. Let's move this across just to give us a bit of room. Okay, so this text effect actually is relatively easy to set up. I'm going to show you how I did it, and then as I said, there's a link for you to use. You can play around with the settings, or set it up however you want to set it up. So the first thing you're going to need is a background node, and that's this icon here. Click on that and then connect the background node to the media out. I'm going to click on the background node, and up in the inspector I'm going to bring the alpha all the way down to 0, so we've got a nice transparent background. And the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in an image. I was looking for an image, and to find images, a good place to go sometimes is Unsplash. They're copyright-free images, and I just typed in the word pool to try and get a water effect. First one I came across really was this one by Watery Text, which was sort of the sort of thing I was looking for. So thank you, Watery Text, or Tingy. Forgot your name wrong, I apologise. Download that and install it into Davinci Resolve. And once the image is imported, all we need to do is to drag the image into the workspace, and we can take the output of the image, connect it to the output of the background. It will create a merge node, and it merges over the top, and we've got our image over the top of our transparent background. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to add a text node, which is this icon here. And what I'm actually going to do here is use the text as a mask. And the way I'm going to do that is to take the output of the text node, connect it to the blue input of the media in 1 here. And then if I click on the word text, and up in the inspector, I can type in the word water. You can start to see that it's the image in the background is coming through the text. So I'm going to change the font. I found that Basement Grotesque works quite good for this. You need ideally you want a nice big thick text to a font to use. I'm going to increase the size. What I've also found works for me as well, if I click on shading, right down at the bottom, you can open size. And if I increase the Y back to here, I can just increase the height. Again, just makes it look a little bit bigger. Just go back to the layout tab. I can just bring it down just a little bit to make it a little bit more central. Okay, so we've got our nice text showing through we've got our nice image showing through the text. That's what we wanted. Actually, what I'm going to do is just create in the top corner here. I'm going to click on that so we've got one big screen. We can see what's happening. Okay, so next thing we need to do is to build our effect where we've got the water, or it looks like the water is affecting the text, and we've got a nice wibbly wobbly, love that word, effect. So again, it's pretty easy to do. On the media in 1 node, all you need to do is to hit Shift Space to bring up our selector tool, type in DISP, and we can choose the displace node, and we can add that in. And with the displace node connected, the displace node always needs something to tell it what to do. So for this, we're going to use fast noise, which is this icon here. So again, if we just click on the background and then click fast noise, we can then drag that up, and we can connect the output of the fast noise to the green input of the displace node. We're going to change the settings in the fast noise and the displace in a minute, just to create this effect. What I also want to add in is some waviness. If I just select all of those and move them out of the way a minute, after the displaced node, so with the displaced node selected, again, just hit Shift Space and type in WAVI, find the waviness node, and we can add that in. There's only one other thing that I've used to help me build this effect, and that's after the text node. If I click on that, I've actually found that by adding in a drop shadow, so again hitting Shift Space, type in drop shadow, add that node in, that actually adds a nicer effect. Again, we're going to change all these settings and it should all come together in a minute. So we've got everything we need to actually build the effect. What we need to do now is to change the settings. So let's go through them one by one. So with the fast noise selected, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the detail to 8.11. Again, I'm just going to put in what's worked for me. You can change these settings as you wish. The contrast is going to be 1.89. Brightness is 1.0. The scale 27.5. Angle is 90. Seethe 50. And the seethe rate set at 0.551. Again, you can already start to see this is having an effect on the text itself. With the displaced node selected, I'm going to change the offset to 0.5. I'm going to change the refraction strength to 0.102. And then with the waviness node selected, I'm going to change the scale to 45.7. 0.7. I'm going to change the strength to 3.9. I'm going to change the phase to 0.724. And the speed I'm going to change to 0.087. And then up in the drop shadow, I'm going to change the shadow strength to 0.614. I'm going to change the drop angle to -90. I'm going to change the drop distance to 0.0173. And I'm going to change the blur to 0.181. So with those settings, if we hit play, we can see that we have a nice rippling water effect. And that's exactly the look that I want for my composition. Obviously, you can play with those settings. The fast noise, the displace, the waviness will change how this looks. You can get more of a waving effect, less of a waving effect, however you want to do it. The only other thing that I've added, again, if you click on the merge node, again hit Shift Space, if you type in XF, you can get a transform node added, so click add. And with the transform node added, it just means that you can adjust the size of the whole composition as you wish. So that's the effect created and finished. All we need to do now is go back to the edit page, and if I bring in a video, just pop it in the timeline, drag it down, there we go. And if I add in our fusion composition, I'm going to cut the end of the video off, so I don't need all of that. So now with the fusion composition selected on the edit page, you can then click this icon here, which is the transform in the edit page. You can then change the size. If we change the zoom, we can change the size, we can change the angle, do whatever we want to do. We can move it around. You can move it around by dragging across. You can even animate, so you can have it drop down if you wish, however you want to play with it. And then if we just hit play, it will render out and you have the nice water effect text on your composition. And if you would like to use the preset I've put together, then click the link in the description below. It will take you to my page. You can download it. It is free, although if you do want to make a little donation, I'm not going to argue, and I would very much appreciate it. But let's show you how to install it and to use it. So as you click the link, it will take you to this page. So this is my first preset, so it shouldn't be too hard to find the preset that you want. Open it up, and if you click Get Now, it will download the DRFX file for you. As I say, it is free. Click Checkout Now, and then you can click View Content, and then you can download it to wherever you want to download it. And once you've downloaded it to wherever you want to download it to, as I say, it should be a DRFX file. So all you got to do is double click. It will then say, do you want to install the effect? Just click Install. And when you open up Resolve, if you go into the edit page and onto Effects, You should then see a little file created for you, and we've got the water effect. I like it that much, I've added it in twice. Anyway, so just to show you how it works, let's just bring in a couple of images and a video file. Zoom in a bit. So this is the image we had before. So again, I'm just going to bring the effect, drop it on top, so you can see that the effect is already being applied. Because the image is actually not the same size, it's not a 1920 or 1080 image, you will need to just resize the image. So all you've got to do is click on the transform, and you can increase the size, and then it should show no problem. And then the inspector on the on the right hand side, sorry, not on the left, on the right, you can adjust the size of the text, you can adjust the center position, you can adjust the angle, and again, if you scroll down, you can input different text if you want to. So let's just put test. I'll put it back to water for now. Again, you can adjust the size of the text that way, the tracking. You make all these amendments, change whatever you want to change. When it comes down to things like the strength of the effect itself, you can change the angle, you can change the brightness of the fast noise. So all these things you can amend so you can get whatever look you're going for. Again, right at the bottom, we've got motion blur, so you can have motion blur if you want it, and we've got adjusting the size and the angle of the whole thing, if that's what you want to do. So you can really play around with it, and because it's an effect, you can add it to any image you like. So as I said, down, put some different images in, so let's just add the effect into there. So again, we can see it's affecting the image. Turn the transform off actually. The image that we want, and again, you can see you can change the wording to whatever you want. Put Davinci this time, and adjust the size. So you can play around with it. You can really sort of go to town with it, and you can even add the effect to a video file and play around with it then. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it useful. We're able to follow it. As I say, from a beginner to beginners, isn't that difficult to do, or wasn't that difficult to do. If I can do it, I'd say anyone should be able to do that, really. Fingers crossed. Let me know if you've got any questions, comments. As always, I really do appreciate it. If there's a better way to do what I've done, again, I'd really appreciate that. I'm learning as I'm going. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the download. Leave a like and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Have a good day. Ta-da.